These beats are the purest.
These beats are the purest. Roll it, roll it.
Welcome everyone to first match of Season 5 as the adorable Alligatos play the Lunar Colony Lumalees. My name is Paninii, I'm here with Booney on the prod and on the cast. Booney, what's your first thought about these two teams right here?
Well, the beginning initial thoughts of the power rankings team has these teams both fairly high. The Gatos being number 1 and then the Lumines being number 3. So this should be kind of a banger matchup and should really tell us where these teams actually belong kind of in our power rankings. Were they correct, or are we potentially overestimating some of these squads? We do have some very high quality players on both these teams, as well as some question marks with rookies. So we'll have to see where things really fall here. The big ones being, Sidon versus Nathan, kind of a rematch of our grand finals of last season. But kind of the Stone Hedgehogs coming back in full force. It looks like with Flambo Jambo picking up his Kiki as a little Pookie Bear in Cal, and then Nathan getting paired up with Frosty for like the 8th season in a row. So both these teams seem to have a lot of synergy going in already with their high-powered duos, and just interesting to see if the Alligatos can go up to the allegations of being number 1 in our league, or can the Lumines pull off an early season upset here in week 1.
I do think a lot of these players are coming in with such high expectations. You have Nathan and Frosty coming off a championship, and then you have Sidon coming off 2 back-to-back finals appearances. There's just so much expectations put on a lot of these players here. So I'm really excited to see if they live up to the expectations, or if maybe there's some other players we haven't heard from in a while that are going to start to rise up and make a name this season.
And of course, we should mention that this is the first match of our automated prod system. So if
that is true.
So if things don't go 100%, do give us a bit of time to figure this out. But hopefully in the future it'll be a lot smoother. So in case you guys just saw that hiccup, that would happen to be why. But
please take advantage of the feedback. If there's something that we don't notice but you guys do, just put something in the feedback channel and be like, hey, this happened a little weird when it was prodding, or the scenes didn't transition. Just let us know and we'll work to fix it. So we appreciate any feedback, especially constructive. But it does appear they are waiting for the Gatos right now. I just participate in a warm-up scrim against the Alligatos, and Seneca and Sanami specifically are rookies this season, so I didn't see a lot I didn't know a lot about either of them. But Sanami playing a lot of Sojourn, and Sojourn, one of the most broken DPS for I guess 10 seasons in a row now. Sanami was able to put in a ton of work on the Sojourn, so hoping that continues. Hoping to see Sanami play some more Sojourn here, and yeah, looks like we're going in.
It is going to be our first map of Samoa, which is kind of a new map to Aurora. We didn't see it much at all last season. I don't remember it being played very often, except for maybe towards the end of the playoffs and bowl games. But kind of a new look here. Both the teams, I know, pretty comfortable in that Junker Queen / the kind of the ground tank brawl mirror. So it's kind of what I'm expecting to see here on our first points of Samoa. Yeah. But Season 5 begins here, and couldn't be more excited to bring it with you, Paninii.
Yeah, looking at the Skycer on the tank, I know we saw a lot of Skycer tank on the Chinchillas last season. Very confident on the Junker Queen here. On the other side, we actually see a completely different comp coming out. So you see this kind of Junker Queen very fast brawl versus this pretty textbook dive here. Genji Tracer Winston. I'm expecting a lot of this to just come down to who goes for the first engage, who finds the picks first, and just how coordinated these teams play together. So I could see this going either way. I think this is a really good matchup here.
Yeah, but in case you guys are wondering, the teams are flipped in the in-game, so we have the Alligatos on the left and the Luminaries on the right. But going in here, we are going to have sort of a dive versus a brawl look. Winston versus the Junker Queen. You got pair of the Junker Queen right now in this overall kind of fire card playing low over on the cart. Has to jump over off to the high ground. Nathan forced to dash away as well. So Cal takes an early position on the point, and Sanami first pick over on a Floss, takes a Tracer out of the fight here for Lumines, and now the Gato is just kind of hanging up. Force out a Suzu and a Deflex, so they got to probably retreat here. Do find Cal, so exchange on Tracers coming in here. Firecarter looking to take a little bit of space off of that. Does fall very weak though. Now Skycer is in their face. Trying to put some work on in. Supports building up towards the Albus very quickly. Shout is used here by Skycer to engage over in. The dash from Nathan in the backline, but pays for it with his life. Losing on that Genji make it pretty hard for the flip to occur here, especially with Cal returning to the fight and Skycer going further in the backline. Firecarter trying to find anything in the backline. Paradox asserts the Lucio supremacy with the boop kill, and it looks like finally the Luminaries are going to be forced to retreat for now.
Yeah, that early point cap coming out from the Alligatos is just so big because the fight just went on for so long, and they're already at 35% right now. They are getting some ults from both sides coming out here. The support ults for the Lumalees starting to come up soon. I think those could be very impactful. But Cal here with the Pulse Bomb. Know how deadly he is on this Tracer. Could just look to stick one of the DPS or one of the supports here to try to catch someone early. Actually misses. So ult down there for the Alligatos. Skycer finds Frosty. Without the flex support, that's a lot of healing missing. But Sanemi equalized.
Yeah, they're going to equalize. They're going to use the beat here as well. Enough Flawless and EJ looking to turn this. The Pulse Bomb not going to find anything right now. Here comes the Collins up from Flambo Jumbo trying to stabilize here on the point. Fire Carter flying low. Has Primal does pop it here just in time. Keeps off alive, but Cal is lighting up the kill feed here to multiple final blows. Find the pick on opposite number, and now we have Skyster being bullied around the back end. Doesn't seem to matter as Cal has locked the point down. Over on this Tracer, Frosty returned with a blink and was gone just as quick. And again, the Alligato is going to hold.
Yeah, really expensive fight there for the Alligatos, but you got to take that considering they're already going to be at 99 right here. The Blade and the Kitsune Rush are both very impactful ultimates, but they have to make sure that Sanemi doesn't get any value with this overclock trying to shut it down here.
Frosty comes out here, opens up with a Kitsune Rush here. Nathan looking to get back in here with the fight with a Dragon Blade. See what happens here. Paradox close to that beat. She just builds it in time. Is going to have it here for the Blade. Just in time. Lays on down. Sanemi falls fair low, but just in time the beat lays on in. We do have Nathan here slashing and dashing. Does find Flame with Jam, so the main healing is gone here for the side of the Alligatos. Both supports are gone now. Cal trying to equalize here in the backline, but just gets dove in here by Nathan. The Blade does the job and opens the point right up. 99% will be all the Alligatos going to get here as the Lumalees get their first flip of the map.
That was a pretty expensive fight from both teams. Now going into this next fight, it's only going to be Pulse Bomb for Pulse Bomb. But yeah, you got to be happy with that if you're the Lumalees. Just being able to get that point flip, kind of stop the momentum, and being able to stabilize here a little bit. Especially with this dive, it's really difficult to try to set up when you're trying to attack. So then being able to kind of like get in position here should be really good to try to catch someone out on the Alligatos.
Yeah, and the only ults here online are going to be the Pulse Bomb for these Tracers, so which one can find the value. Cal's not going to find anything but the side of a board as Flawless looks to chase on down. Force Cal out of the fight. Tracer now out of it right now. The fight on Bright is breaking out. Flambo's healing resource falling fairly low here as Skycer trying to build up towards this rampage, but just swooped onto point. Can he get some help to stay alive here? Falling very low. Skycer is down with the main tank gone for both sides here, though. Exchanges as the supports are trying to stay alive here for the Lumalees as Cal is there. The beat from EJ keeps them nice and healthy here as the point continues to garner here for the Lumalees as EJ comes on in. Cal will exchange for one. Still a very even fight on point, but EJ's going crazy right now. Finds both supports. But Cal as well returns with a second kill. Fire Carter has Primal Rage if they decide to use it here. Nathan falling pretty low. Will get out with a dash. It is just pure chaos right now, but Fire Carter might just finally put a nail in this fight's coffin here with a kill over on a enemy, and looks like Cal is finally retreating. The Alligatos have one more chance.
Yeah, super messy fight there. The beat from EJ ended up being really big to kind of establish that tempo there, trading the tanks early. The beat just being able to keep her team nice and healthy, able to give the Lumalees a huge advantage there. Really good ult pick from both sides here, so we'll see how these ults are used here.
Kusina Rush engage here out from Frosty. Nathan has his blade as well, but here comes the Rampage. It's a two-man. Lands on a Nathan who is using the blade, but gets the kill regardless. It's a 1-for-1 here for ultimates. That's just a huge exchange here, 2 for 2 on either side. Cole is trying to find something here. The Suzu out from Frosty, keep himself alive for just a second longer. Fire Carter still has his Primal Rage if the fight continues to go on. Paradox falling, she can't build the beat in time. Frosty again is just tiptoeing life and death here with the TPs, with the Suzus. Trying to do something here as Skycer, the Pulse Bomb from Floss, not gonna find too much here. Fire Carter using that Primal Rage, looking to move around, but Skycer has found two over on the point, falling pretty low, is getting booped around here, booped off the point. The Queen presence is gone here as Fire Carter is putting us where the point has flipped though in all the chaos, and Karma's coming down! Just a final second touch here from the Lumalees, and now Cal trying to close up on Flawless. Guess his number this time. The beat comes out from Paradox. It will only find the support line here. Paradox falls so low. Senemi returns with the overclock. Going to put some work in here. They all stuff into a corner, into a locker, but Floss and Nathan find two. With the DPS for the Lumalees finally clutching this up and flips it on over. Skycer with a desperation ball touch. But prying too much, the rework is not enough. And the Lumalees take a 99-0 disadvantage and bring it back to a point win.
Yeah, they got really clean there. Again, like after being able to kind of set up on the defense for that point there, they looked really good with their engages. We know a lot of these players are very familiar with playing with each other, so you got to see a lot of those really clean engages, those clean dives, and really great target focus coming out, being able to isolate and take down players really early from the Alligatos. So I'm hoping to see more of the same, because, like, again, that was the closest it possibly could be on that map. So,
As like you said, as close as it possibly be, but now a different look completely here almost. From the side of the Lumalees, they're going to use as a reset. They're going to switch Nathan off the Genji over onto the Tracer, and Flawless over on the Sojourn off the Tracer as well. So basically, a wholesale quant swap, except for, the Lucio Kiriko. Yeah, love that support line.
It's the NA OWCS comp. Supposedly it's very good right now, the one that the Lumalees are running. So we'll see if they are able to kind of make it work here. The Alligatos just kind of have to use the speed advantage here, try to get picks really early, or I think they're going to lose the long fights if they don't get picks very early in the fight here.
If you do look at it here, though, the point is going to be contested, and basically the space garnered right now for the Lumalees. Walking forward, they might have isolated Paradox. She's trying to get out there. Looks like she kind of will. Cal falling low as well. The point does flip into chaos, but Frost is first to fall. So that Kiriko out of the battle here. The Alligatos decide to push their advantage and go on forward here. Skycer on point. Putting in a lot of work here with the help of the squad. It looks to be a pretty quick flip here back over for the Alligatos as they take the advantage.
Yeah, Skies are putting in work on the Junker Queen. They just able to... The Lumalees were able to get the point, but they just kind of got surrounded there. And especially with this, with Cal and the Tracer, it's really hard to give them the free angles. They really need to either go faster and try to get picks, or just be able to just care for the flankers.
Nathan, though, does the advantage here on Pulse Bomb, looking to lay it on in to the opposition. They have no Susan to block this one. Here comes the Pulse, not going to land. And doesn't matter, as two have already fallen for his squad. Trying to get one will do, but Cal's already done damage in his back line as the Alligatos continue to hold. They're going to stagger out Frosty here as well. Praying to look for the Nathans in your back line, but they don't really care.
Yeah, Sanemi does end up falling there, but I think he'll probably get back to the fight in time for this next matchup here. We're going to get almost... we're going to get close to 10 ultimates in the middle of this fight here. The only one, Nathan's Pulse Bomb not being there. But yeah, a lot of these ults coming out from this Junker Queen comp are going to be really good to establish the tempo here. The Cole, the Beat, the Rush, and even the Pulse, I think, can all be used for really early engages.
They all turn for Nathan here. The Pulse Bomb from Cal, not going to find too much here, but the High Noon and Colons on top. This Rampage comes on in. A lot of ults being used, but it doesn't matter. Firecard is the only one who finds a kill here with the Javelin. With Sanemi gone, the catch of the fight, Paradox falling very low. Firecard with 2 jab kills. Looking like an Olympian out here. And it looks like they're going to take the point back, and despite the bevy of ultimates they had to sustain through, the Lumalees have done it with just using Beat.
That's brutal for the Alligatos. It's using 4 ults to 1 and losing the fight. The Beat is coming up here, but coming up into 4 ults from the Lumalees, that's going to be really tough to contend with. Again, especially just trying to get anyone off this point is going to be tough. Paradox with the Beat could get a lot of value here, though. Even able to shut down some ults and just try to do a quick reset. Might be able to reset the ult economy in favor of the Alligatos.
Have to see when they decide to use it here. Looks like Paradox looks to go on in here. Calwolf on the opening pick over to Flawless. Firecard Terrorist is not going to find too much, but the Slurp from the grave from Flawless takes Sanemi out of the fight. The 2-for-2 exchange on DPS and support respectfully. And now Firecard taking the space and taking the kills, taking heads, taking names, walking on in here with the Jaspin, finds another. And again, like I said, they really only force out the Terror Surge, and they didn't put the point at all. It's out last fight territory, and you still only have this Beat, and potentially a hero pulse buff from Skycer. Or
Yeah,
from Cal.
Firecard is putting in work here. Again, the ults are starting to reset. Nearly 2-2, but EJ is going to get this Beat here, which could be very big. Flawless also with this overclock. Flawless is very talented at the Sojourn, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this overclock put in a lot of work here. Possibly could be looking at last fight here, too.
Cal in the backline putting some pressure into Flawless. They forced out the slide early and take down the Sojourn. No overclock here to worry about, but Nathan has already found Cal on the exchange. It's a 2-for-1. And now Firecard continues to walk forward. The Battle Cattle. Paradox has to use the Beat, but the Desperation one only for her and Skycer. Or for them and Skycer. And now EJ has a return favor. Hits a 3-man. And EJ looks to butt. Clutches one up. Here comes the overclock for a bit of celebration, potentially, as Cal trying to do something on the point, but not going to find too much. As that is going to be a victory here for the Lumalees early.
Yeah, a pretty clean fight, but it was or pretty clean map there for the Lumalees, but it still does look close. Obviously, you can never count out Cal on this Tracer, but we got a match here, ladies and gents. I think this should be a fun one coming up here.
And now Samoa's out of the way. We'll decide where we go on a hybrid, but we will see after this short little break. Do not go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Aurora Overwatch Clash Season 5, Week 1, Match 1 continues after this. Thank you, Paige, for the gifted, by the way. We'll be right back.
Beats are the purest. Prove it.
Welcome back, everyone. After a very exciting map one, we're headed to Numbani. I'm expected to see a lot of different comps here, as we do see some comp swaps coming out from both sides. We see Cat coming in for EJ, and we see Nathan and Firecarter swapping roles, and we see Cal and Skycer swapping roles, and Seneca coming in for Paradox. So this to me signals that both teams are going to run a dive look. Nathan and Frosty, as we know from previous seasons, love to play Winston dive, and then on the other side, Cal has been playing a lot of. From what I've heard, Cal's been playing a lot of Winston too. So I think this could be a very dive-heavy map, especially coming to Numbani here. I think this could be a new, fresh look coming out from both teams.
Yep, I can confirm. In the team's warm-up scrims, which I watched to get a prod ready, we did see this lookout coming from the Alligatos, and it looked very clean. Cal, surprisingly, still top notch here of the Winston. But it'll be interesting to see here what the team decided to roll out with for the DPS. Looks like Cat's going to be pocketing Firecarter up in the sky. And like you said, they looked very good on Numbani in the warm-up scrim, but they weren't going against the Nathan Frosty dive duo. I know that Nathan liking to run the Winston character, especially on Numbani here. Seems to know when to go in here for some pressure. But right now, it is a mirror comp from both these teams. So it's down to just pure mechanics. See what's going on here. Both teams are just exchanging bubbles for now. High still maintain here. Semi falling low. Forced recall here. See if they look to punish that Tracer. Look like it so far. Do have a dive in here from Nathan. And Semi cannot quite get the Mega in time. But they have exchanged out for Cat here. So good trade here for Alligatos.
Seneca goes down too.
But it does look pretty rough here. Skies are falling low. Does get heal up in time from Flame, but Flawless finds the Mercy and clips her wings. Flawless with another. The classic Echo Mercy counter. Tracer. Flawless going to get multiple here that fight as they clean up and look very good so far in the dive.
Yeah, Mercy is probably one of the biggest picks you can get here because not only does it make your Echo weaker, but you also take away the res. The Alligatos did take out Cat early, but just the coordination and the target focus again coming out from the Lumalees was just so clean there, able to kind of clean up that messy scrap there. And now we're looking at ult starting to come up. Flawless has another one and gets a pulse.
Pulse is going to land. It might have forced a Suzu. We weren't looking at it especially, but might have forced out the cooldown here, especially now we see the Alligatos playing a little slower here, potentially waiting for that cooldown to come back as well as Sammy to return. But yeah, Flawless having a great performance so far here on the Tracer. Last few seasons, Flawless has been on struggling teams, but it hasn't really been his fault. And now we're seeing it potentially with some help here in the backline, showing that true potential he had beginning. Firecarter does find Skyscraper, but does get res here by Flambeau Jambo. Cal with the Primal Rage, trying to do some work there. All stuck in this little lower area. The duplicate out from Skycer, and it looks like the offense is finally broken through. Stuck in a small room. Nathan gonna get pulse bombed, and the Primal Rage will still fall so low. He's gonna get the Mega in time. Looks like it's still finally low just in time. But now it's an honorary monkey duel with Tesla cannons in the small little room, and Cal comes out on top. And now point A looks to go the way to Alligatos. Kind of just random picks here and there, finally broke it through.
Really expensive fight using 4 ults there from the Alligatos, but they also get 3 out from the Lumalees, and they break through that first really brutal point to attack here. So I'm actually pretty happy with that. Just able to kind of get that first point is just so easy to full hold on defense. But we are looking at a slight ult advantage here from the Lumalees, especially with this Kitsune Rush. Could be really impactful here, especially with Flawless. If he's building this pulse bomb this quickly, he might have it again too.
Another early pick here on the Flambeau Jambo. Chase that Mercy out of the fight here. Flawless putting on a flawless showing here on Tracer right now. And now they're just tough in this choke with the help of Frosty's Kitsune Rush. But the Alligatos just go back and hide in their spawn. They don't want to take this fight right now. They do force out Nathan's bubble here pretty early, so Kolo take advantage of that as they move forward here. Fiery Carter flies up in the sky, does get healed on right out. Flambo, though, is going to pop those wings. Cat with the response, so it's a Valkyrie. Valpa flawless with the Pulse Bomb. Opens up again with the first fight. They're going to get the res, but Flambo might pay for it with his life, and looks like he will, as Fiery Carter beams him down mid-Valk. And it is still a huge advantage here right now for the Lumalees, as the cart cannot move past his corner with Flawless guarding it.
Yeah, it's such a messy fight, but just the advantage goes in favor of the defense, who got the Mercy after Flawless hit that huge stick. Flawless already has another Repulse here coming up soon, building it really quickly. We also see this Duplicate and this Primal coming out for the Lumalees. So a lot of really good ults here. Katsuna Rush is used early from Seneca, though.
And Cal taking his space as well, trying to build to her Primal Rage. Will have it and builds it. Pops it once that Q is ready. They're going to have the Duplicate once here from Fire Carter in the back, trying to build a Primal of their own. Nathan, boxing match here with Cal. It doesn't look like anything's going to come out with Primal except a bit of chaos as Cal looks finally to clean this fight up as the Lumalees forced to retreat for now. Frosty had to use the Suzu and gets punished for it. Cal waiting for that cooldown to come on in. Cat going to get staggered here out as well. Actually, yeah, she can't get out as Flambeau asserts the Mercy diff with the pistol.
These former teammates on the Stone Hedgehogs able to kind of show the Mercy duel. Flambeau gets the advantage right there. But now we have a really good ult advantage coming out from the Lumalees. But it is super close to second point. They are opting to fight here.
Nathan goes on here. Frosty has that Casino Rush though. Flawless does fall low, but gets Souza right back up. It looks like the Alligatos respecting this ult for now. Seneca does TP and use the Souza early. They're going to look to punish that one as Flawless and Nathan look to use this one up in 3 picks early for Lumalees. Spells doom for this fight. Cal does exchange the this Stone Hedgehog's pleasantries, but not too much other than that.
Yeah, only the Katsune Rush being used for the Lumalees and still being able to hold on the second point here, which is another really good defender-sided point here to take. So, really good there for the Lumalees, and they're still starting to build up some ultimates here again. Fire Carter being able to be this close to this Duplicate, I think, could be really big. I'm assuming he's either going to opt to copy the Kiriko or the Winston. So we'll see. Cat also very close to this.
Oh, they caught Flawless flanking. Had to go into a pretty awkward position here. Cal has a Primal Rage as well. Fire Carter looks to use that Duplicate, but gets picked with the Pulse. Cat does get the res off in the Chaos over onto Flawless, so it is still a 5v5 on point, and now Flawless returns from the grave and finds one. Supports are exchanged as a Primal pop here from Cal. Trying to see Nathan healthy here on the attack, but trying to hit this fly in the sky. Can't quite do it. Nathan goes on in Flawless, not going to find anything with the Pulse. Fire Carter takes himself out with his own Sticky Mines, I believe, and now Cat, she can't escape. It looks like Nathan just trying to postpone this as long as possible here with the Primal on point. Flawless potentially trying to do some heroics, but Seneca with the Casino Rush. Basically upon the end of this one, as Nathan just tries to stay there for as long as possibly can. Frosty, not long for this world. I mean, Nathan he's bubble dancing this one pretty expertly, and we'll get out, it looks like. No, actually we'll get staggered out and can't quite touch the point. Wait a minute and a half, we do the Alligatos finally pushing through point B.
Yeah, we do also see Cat swapping over this Moira. I don't know if that's maybe to try to get more survivability here, or if maybe they're trying to just build a Cole here and try to win the third point off this. But that is really rough to reset your ult advantage and kind of be on someone that's a little bit more vulnerable to getting dove once you force that the fade out. Frosty does have this Katsune Rush, which has been very impactful so far. Early Duplicate from Skystar onto the Winston, though.
Dodson on a Frosty force out the TP pretty early here. Looks to go over on the Kiriko. Will get taken out and will stay alive and gets punished for the overaggression here by Cat. Mark it on down. They're going to use a Casino Rush when they had a fairly sizable advantage. Might want that one back, especially for last fight coming up here. Yeah,
I don't know if maybe that signals a swap or what, but this close to the end, we do see Flambeau actually going over to the Lucio. What we've kind of noticed is this third point slightly more Brawl favored than Die favored, so I do see them starting to swap over a little bit more Brawly with this Lucio. I don't hate it, but it is resetting kind of the ult economy here.
Let's see which Primal Rage, Nathan's, Fire Carter's, or Cal will get the most value here. Cal does fall low, can't pop Primal. Frosty finds the Kune between the eyes. And if the Alligatos have to reset here quickly, or the attack's over. Nathan gets punished. Bit
He's
of
going to get really close on there, so I don't know if it's going to matter too much, but... Enemy trying his best to touch, won't be able to get there. Skystar's going to have to touch here, I think. Actually, the Primal used from Cal to touch.
They do have this Casino Rush as well from Seneca's. Punchy Fumer meters garnered here. just at the end of the attack, but Nathan returns to the fight, has Primal Rage. This cart might not move another inch if these two Winstons were Primal have anything to say about, especially Coalescence at their backs. Pushing forward, Skies are flying low, and the Echo gone, no duplicate ready here for the Alligatos. And now it's kind of for whom the bell tolls for the Alligatos attack. But if you look at it this way, it's a very good attack, especially for Nambani. And with how bad your point A was looking, you'll definitely take point B and a little extra.
Yeah, point A is a very hard to attack on. Point B also, especially that late there, is also very hard to break through. So just knowing that they broke through the first and second points is still really good. But there is still a pretty clear win condition for both teams. I wonder if they're going to stick with any of the swaps they made. Both teams did swap off the Mercy, so I don't know if they're going to stick with the Mercy here, if they're going to go back to try something a little different. Maybe that was just like third point shenanigans, trying to swap something up that works a little bit better on that point, or maybe they do really want to play with like the Lucio or play with the Moira there.
I think we probably see the Mercy come back. Echo is very good on point A, especially with all that open space she can control, so... never mind. It appears the Alligatos do not agree with our assessment, Paninii. That's why we're casters, not players. But they're going to go with the Moira on point A. Is a very interesting look, especially with how split the teams usually play.
I mean, I don't hate swapping off the Mercy if you're not going to run the Echo. I still think Mercy with the Sojourn is still really good, but I would much rather see Flambeau either on like a Lucio or even playing. I wouldn't be angry with like him playing Lifeweaver here, especially if Cal wants to go super aggressive. You can use the Grippies to pull him out. But the Moira is a very interesting. I don't know if maybe he's going to play this really aggressive and try to fade in, get a lot of damage into the back line, or if he's just going to use it to kind of use the fade to escape and try to play a little bit more safe. And so we'll see how they play. I do genuinely like the Lumalees a little bit more based on the comp they're running, but we'll see. Might catch them off guard with the Moira here, so maybe that's another play, is just try to throw something weird at the table and see if it sticks.
I mean, the issue is to try to catch him off guard, but Firecarter basically gets a free scout on the Echo. Knows what you're doing. You're kind of all stacking up here trying to take a fight inside this little small room and or jump once you see an advantage, but there's play split right now. The Lumalee's not giving you a real good target to just jump on, as this Nathan just kind of trading this high ground back and forth here with his bubble. Building up towards that Primal. Cal is going to fall pretty low here, and Flambo Jambo goes on in and dies to the sticky balls that landed over onto Cal. With the Moira gone, this would be pretty tough.
Yeah, they put a lot of pressure into Flambeau early, did force the fade, and then he ended up falling right after that. And without the Moira, it is going to be really rough to kind of take advantage here if you're the Alligatos, but yeah, we do see Sanemi also falling. Skyster gets taken out too, and I think Cal and Seneca are going to get staggered out here. They are really split. I don't think they can do very much from this position they're in right now.
I mean, Flambeau's just trying to hold a point for as long as possible here. Cal has Primal. So potentially something done here. 99.1% over on the point. Leave it for a second, and it flips.
Yeah, I'd like to have that Primal back if I was Cal there, but I mean, it could have been a lot worse the way it was looking really early there. So the fact they were able to just get some more time off isn't terrible, but these staggers might end up coming if the Lumalees opt to chase it here. I think they were looking for it.
Flawless did get the stick over on a Skyster as well in the pulse bomb, but Skyster able to TP and recall away from that one, but still did force that cooldown, force some space as well. Lumalees taking full advantage of that right now. Nathan holding the bus. Really, the defense looking to struggle here. Seneca does pop out with that Kasuna rush here, trying to take the space back down main with the exchange of multiple ultimates here for either side. No kills really coming, just full sustain for both, but finally the Lumalees break through. Looks to have claimed this fight as well. The cart continues to move forward. The cart hasn't stopped the whole time. It's going to get around bus here and potentially towards the end of B. One fight territory here for the Alligatos defense.
Yeah, really clean fight. They're able to kind of identify that the Kitsune Rush was using a Kitsune Rush to kind of counter-engage into that. Really good communications to kind of identify that engage, and really good target focus, again, to just kind of find those picks there. Flambo Jambo does have this Cole, but other than that, not really a lot of ult here. Sanemi might get this overclock mid-fight here too, but other than that, it should be a pretty neutral fight.
Have to see what goes on here. Basically at the end here, Nathan trying to body block and try to be the bouncer, but will be forced to retreat for now. Had to use a bubble though. Cal is full low in his bubble as well, so exchange on bubbles here, but Nathan's first to fall. And when Skyster find that kill over all of the Winston, it's going to be pretty tough here with the Coalescence on top of this as well. Just too much sustain, too much pressure right now from the Alligatos for Lumalees to really hold up against. And now 3.5 minutes remain. They know Flawless is back here. He's hiding. They know.
Yeah, I think Nathan got a little bit greedy there. I believe that Skycer was on the supports, Frosty and Cat. So Nathan, I think, thought he had more heals than he actually did, just to kind of overstay his welcome there. Now we have dueling DPS ults. I think this Kitsune Rush could, or the duplicate could be really big here.
Forced out the fade early from Flambo Jambo. Firecarter first to fall. Takes down Senemi. Cannot use the overclock. Firecarter uses the duplicate over on the Soldier and 80% towards their own. Get some done. Cat has fallen though in the meantime. Cal in the background has Primal Rage as well. A lot of sustain here. Flambo forced to use that fade but gets falls into a corner. The stick from Skycer trades out an Nathan but trades out his own life for it.
He got 2.
But Cal has put in a lot of space here, a lot of contain. Forced multiple members back, and now the cart heavily in favor of the Alligatos. Flawless is still in your backline. Is anyone going to take care of this man? He's been here for like 3 straight fights. Finally goes down, but he did all he could. Now the team returns as 4-on-4. And now the Rez
also comes out on a Flawless. Nathan back in the fight here. That might be all they need is just Nathan alive.
Especially with Flambo falling. It's going to be pretty tough here for the Alligatos to hold him. Flawless. The Rez from Cat coming up huge. Gets the Tracer back in the fight, and if he finds 3, pays it back in kind. Flawless is having a great game so far. Definitely the best I've seen him play in a very long time. This is the OG Flawless we're seeing right now.
Yeah, this is your season 2 teammate from the Broncos Country Broncos Country Riders, showing his peak Tracer form. Putting in work, especially just being able to harass the backline here. Seneca with this Kitsune Rush could be really big, especially if they opt to use it early, but Frosty might have one of his own.
Nathan jumps on in, has Primal, but Flawless and Nathan just putting pressure up on his enemy. Can't use his overclock, has to retreat for now. Kitsune Rushes are exchanged, but Cal, it's a 1-for-1 here. Winston's finding DPS. Fade is forced out from Flambo Jambo as Cat gets the res again on the Firecarter. She's getting off some miracle reses here on the DPS. It's working wonders here for the Lumalees. As Flawless finds another here. The pulse bump from Skycer has to come up huge. Overclock out from Senemi, but just gets basically pushed back into spawn by Nathan. Cal does find Frosty in the meantime and has Primal Rage, so might have held on for just enough. Cal trying to track down this Mercy. The duplicate over on the Winston here, they don't think it's winnable here. Cat falling very low. Cat finally falls. Lumalees trying to punish off Cal. Looks like they're going to get it. The Winston falling here is still very winnable here for either side. No DPS ults.
Firecarter almost got the Primal off in time, and they just can't touch. I wouldn't necessarily call that a C9, but they could have tried to fight for it a little bit more. It did look very advantageous for the Lumalees regardless, so I wouldn't call that a C9 personally, but
I wouldn't either.
Another really clean showing for the Lumalees. Look like they're in full control in the series here on both comps they've run. So early on, I think this is one of the most scary teams we've seen so far, especially with the 5K player Flawless, however much he went for.
Yeah, it is looking very good for them so far, but still potential here for Alligatos, number 1 seed, I guess, in terms of power rankings at the beginning of the season. Put on their back foot early here, but we'll have to see where they go. The reverse sweep is in the cards and has to happen now. Don't go anywhere. We'll continue this match after the short break. And welcome on back, everybody, to the Overwatch Clash Week 1 matchup between the Lunar Colony Lumalees and the adorable Alligatos. Right now, the Alligatos are number 1 team in the power rankings preseason, on the bit of a back foot right now, down 2-0, going into their map choice of New Queen Street. And as of right now, Paninii, they don't really seem to have any answers for Nathan or Flawless right now.
Yeah, I think the entirety of the Lumalees is just kind of outplaying the Alligatos so far. We do see some swaps coming out. We see the Venture. Actually, I don't know if he's actually going to play this, but I'd be excited to see some Venture. I think is in a very strong state right now. It could be enough of a surprise to kind of catch the Lumalees off guard. But we do see, again, this Orisa comp coming out, which looked really good from Firecarter on Samoa.
I also can confirm that in the warm-up scrim, Cal was playing Venture. And she looked pretty good on them, or he looked pretty good on them, we'll have to see. But it wasn't going against this team. It wasn't going against the Lumalees, who've looked very strong so far. And Firecarter back over in the tank on this Orisa.
Cal is in really aggressive right now. Lumalees looking to try to put someone off the map here. Oh, he almost
Cal. Firecarter get Cal, gets booped off. But the exchange here is Flambo takes EJ down. The Alligatos have the early advantage, as they got the opening pick over to Cal, taking the bench out of the fight. Doesn't seem to matter as Paninii comes on and finally coming alive here in the series. Takes on multiple here, potentially another on a Flawless, but Flawless might get out. No, get stuck!
No. Yeah, I think they got a little bit too cute there. They were looking for the boops and not really playing for the fight. So they just got surrounded there a little bit by the Alligatos. So we do see Flawless going over to this Cassidy, which is very interesting. Sanity already close to this pulse here, which could be really big, especially if the Lumalees aren't aware that he has it yet. So
they're gonna fight this one pretty slow. It looks like Cart finally coming towards that first corner. Spear lands over on a Skycer, but not too much damage done. As Flambo goes a little too aggressive and gets taken down.
Skycer's isolated here too.
The stick not gonna do too. I mean, Firecarter's very low, but the picks are heavily in favor of Lumalees right now, as Nathan Flawless led to the kill feed. Looks like just a annoying little Tracer to take care of. Looks like will do so, but a 35-meter advantage. Pretty good start here for the Alligatos.
Yeah, that's pretty good for Sanemi to be able to kind of stall it that long, because now all the respawns are kind of going to come in, and Sanemi's going to be able to get back to the team really quickly. So should still be able to hold onto the lead going into this next fight here. But we do see a lot of ults coming out from both teams here, actually. Almost a full ult bank coming out from the Lumalees.
Sanemi's here. They're going to come out here with Flambo. Jambo's beat, looking to engage on that early here, as well as the Rampage. Does find EJ, and they take him down. But with Cal exchange, the Pulse Bomb is going to land from Nathan over on his opposite number. Takes that Tracer out of the fight. Flambo trying to 1v1 Nathan here in the back line. Does force Nathan out here, but Floss with the high noon takes down Skycer. And despite an early aggressive play from the Alligatos, they're forced to retreat back to spawn.
Yeah, and really only the DPS used from the Lumalees. That's another really good economical fight, is you use both your DPS ults, but you get out the beat and you get out the Queen ult, which are two of probably the strongest ults in the game.
Oh, Sanemi gets stuck on the decor.
Yeah, they have the Venture ult here, which is really strong. They also have this Kitsune Rush, but then you have the beat, the Kitsune Rush, and the Terra Surge coming out for the Lumalees, which are all very strong ults. So advantage in favor of the Lumalees in that regard. But we'll see. The positioning, it looks really good here for the Alligatos, actually. Might be able to kind of split the Lumalees here.
Tectonic shot comes out here from Cal, but it gets pushed back by Firecarter. Only gets off 2 shots. Not quite the checkpoint yet, but the mag grenade will find Flambo. And a Paradox falling. Firecarter lights up the kill feed. The Battle Cattle is in full effect. The Pulse Bomb finds nothing but dirt. And that's going to be the Lumalees taking the first checkpoint and probably a couple more meters off the back of this.
All goes over to the Cassidy. I don't know if that's going to be too little too late here, but only the Kitsune Rush used from the Lumalees. Still very strong ult advantage coming out, especially with these swaps coming out for the Alligatos.
Hey, we at least got to see our first Tectonic Shock, alright? We got to see our first Tectonic Shock here on the Aurora cast. But first off, Firecarter does fall low. Had to use the... Oh, the stick! The Suzu! The Terra Surge! So much going into this! So much damage, but no kills! Finally exchange here, the beat out from EJ. Try and keep the team healthy in this fight. Continue this push forward. Look, it's going to work. It's a 2 for 2. But right now, the car continues to move. Skycer, very low. Does have that shot, though. Gives up nice back and healthy back in this fight. And the Lumalees finally forced to retreat, it seems, as the bot moves back towards main.
Beat came out just a little bit too late, not able to save Firecarter there. And it does look like, even though that big advantage the bot is going back in favor of the Alligatos here, and with a lot of ults being used from the Lumalee, the ults are now in favor of the Alligatos, so they could look to capitalize on this.
Flawless with his high noon did find some value with it last time, and the way he's been landing these ults the entire series wouldn't be surprising. Flambeau, they're going to walk it over on this casting and shut down Flawless. Doesn't have the excuse to use the high noon. The beat as well on top of this. The bot was still in the meantime back towards main, but Firecarter, a bit isolated right now. We'll get back to the team with the help of that Fortify, but really no meterage gained from the bot there, and the positioning is still here for the Lumalees as the spear did land on the Cal, but is alive in the meantime.
Yeah, the Lumalees able to kind of regroup after that early pick. Not able to not staggering out, really good for them. Do re-engage here with the Kitsune Rush.
Frosty put in some work here. Firecarter's low in the pulse. Finds the resets. A big rampage as well. Finds 3. Floss just gets 1 with a high noon. Survives the rampage damage, but here comes the cleanup off the back of this. Floss is getting pocketed. Frosty throwing as many cards as possible to Suzu. Just a little too late. Should use Amazon Prime. Didn't get there on time. And now, checkpoint is going to be garnered here for the Alligatos, and they have some ults to work with.
Yeah, it looked really strongly in favor of the Lumalees, but now it is starting to swing back over in favor of the Alligatos. They are resetting down their tank. We'll likely regroup around this middle point here.
Just what they're going to do. Paradox, though, she can use this Casino Rush to bring things back for their team's favor, see what's going on. Flambeau as well building a very quick beat here. Paradox laid down the Casino Rush. Flawless is isolated right over on the sideline. Can they punish him? Looks like he will get out to the health pack for now. Barely, but Cal is finding an opening pick over onto Lucio. EJ cannot build this beat. Flawless is so weak. Cal used the high noon, but it just sent back to his grave. Terror Surge from Firecarter. Tries to lay it down, but gets punished. Taken down. And now Nathan trying to stay alive here. Use that recall. Forced it back. Pulse bomb from Paninii. Not going to land. And Flawless gets the kill as well. Still very doable here for the side of the Lumalees as they have spawn advantage. And now the Alligatos are backing up.
Yeah, losing the Lucio early is really rough there. Then them able to kind of coordinate to focus onto Flawless and Firecarter and just kind of pressure them out. Really good there. Only beat here for the Alligatos, but the Lumalees have 4 ults here, so 3 minutes left. Could start to swing back in favor of the Lumalees.
Flawless, though! Taken down EJ, got knifed and couldn't land the beat in time to save the soldier, and so the overclock now gone. Flambeau responds with beat of their own. EJ falling low, gets chased on down by Paninii. Nathan will get Cal in the meantime, but doesn't look like it's going to really do too much here. But Nathan with the 2K pulse bomb finds 3 this fight!
Nathan's gotten a couple of really big pulse bombs here this map so far. Looking like prime Steph Curry on the lobbing the pulses in.
A pulse bomb so nasty, Fedora had to leave the game.
Yeah,
he couldn't stand to see anymore. Couldn't watch this anymore.
But yeah, again, we're looking at a still pretty good ult advantage here for the Lumalees. They are starting to get this positioning advantage, but they are going to have to try to force someone off of this high ground, especially if Cal's able to kind of sit on this long range of high ground and be uncontested. It's going to be really rough to play into Cal, especially with how talented he is. You just don't want to leave him alone uncontested there.
Paninii poking in the back line here, trying to force out some bit of an awkward play. Cal does fall low, but does roll it back to safety. Hit the hair into EJ, almost got Lucio out of the fight. Overclock out from Flawless, pulse bomb from Paninii, not going to find too much, but Frosty TP's into the enemy team and gets taken down. However, still duplicates Firecarter, close to Terror Surge. 1% off that, looks to lay it down potentially. Yes, will lay it on down. Flambeau Jimbo gets stuck in it and slammed on in. Firecarter is low. Paninii looks to have done too much here, but the bot is getting stolen for now. It's just Flawless and EJ on the bot. The spawn should be here for the Alligatos soon, but Paninii gets taken down. It'll be rough. Nathan gets that kill. Skycer returns, but just sees a corpse. Does have the rampage to the other side to use it, but it does appear the Lumalees back off just a little bit, wait for their tank.
Yeah, this close to with only 1 minute left, they're probably ult tracking that the Alligatos have so many ults here. They're trying to just kind of play this corner, just force ults out, knowing they'll be able to have another chance to recontest on their side of the map. Nathan might look for a ult here, actually. Everyone's so grouped up together.
Flawless is back on the legs here. On this bit of a flank angle here through the train station, but gets chased on down by Paninii, falling low, 25 HP, will get out in time, and force out the recall. And now Paradox, she did use a Casino Rush, but the Lumalees just kite on that back. They know they have the advantage here. They can play this slow. EJ has the beat should they decide to engage, but Skycer first to fall. Cal with the high noon, just use it to reload. And Flawless with 2 here. The leg switch with a 3rd.
Flambo and Paradox are going to get staggered out a little bit late here. 30 seconds left. After forcing out the Kitsune Rush and the high noon, it could go either way here, genuinely. I think they're still going to play this the same way for the Lumalees, is just try to play kind of up here, force out some ults, just kite out. Especially with this Junker Queen ult, they don't have the beat anymore, so they are just going to have to back up or just lose the fight quickly.
We'll see if they decide to use their Pulse Bomb or their Rampage to win this fight back and puts the cart back. We'll see. The nice knife does land on the fire cart, force a bit of positioning here. As of right now, Lumalee's fairly happy to play this slow. The exchange on DPS 1 for 1, the trade as Pulse for a melee. Skycer does fall low, but Flambo with the beat will keep him up. Cal in the Sojourn finds Nathan, so it appears the Lumalees will lose this fight, but they're forcing out so many ultimates here. They're taking advantage here for final fight territory. Flambo taken down, but EJ not long for this world either. Both frogs going extinct, but now you look at the ults heavily in favor right now of the Lumalees as 1 fight territory.
Yeah, if the Lumalees play this right, they could be looking at 4 ults into just the Queen ults. They are not going to have the beat again for it, so they can either opt to try to disengage or just hope that Frosty lands a big cleanse here to try to cleanse that purple. If Skycer hits a lot of the Lumalees with it here. Both DPS are really close to these ults. I think they'll either get it mid-fight or get it right when this fight's starting here.
Skycer very low. Had to use a shout pretty early. Casino Rush in exchange of that one. Cindy goes in, but the first pick here from Cal. Looking like the MVP a couple seasons ago. Trying to bring back 15. Paradox is so close to this Casino Rush. If she can stay alive, it could be a huge turning point. She will fall, but they've already found Fire Carter, and the cart continues to move here forward. Now 13 meters separate the 2 teams. Flawless, though, with the visor on the flank here. Flambo has to stay alive. The spawns for Lumalees could be devastating for the Alligatos' chances of bringing on this one back. It's just Skycer against the world. Paradox builds it. But Saddle back in spawn as Far Carter on the Doomfist comes on back. And that's going to be a 3-0 victory for the Lumalees. Looking very strong. And like you said before the cast, this number 1 power rankings preseason curse continues here. If the Alligatos had to be these allegations.
Number 1 team in the power rankings versus the number 2 team. And the number 2 team comes out with a sweep over the number 1 team. As we all predicted. Yeah, like we mentioned, I thought this would be a lot closer. I was hoping it'd be like a 3-2 banger, but just incredibly clean showing there for the Lumalees. Especially with Frosty and Nathan coming off their most recent championship. I think that's one of the, if not the number 1 scariest team right now to play against.
Yeah, we'll have to see if the Alligatos can bounce on back from this one, but now we gotta give ourselves a match MVP for the Lumalees here, Paninii, and there are so many people you can give it to. I have someone in mind, but you can honestly shout at anybody on this team and it'd be a right selection.
Yeah, I think everyone on the Lumalees played very consistent, like a consistent high level, but I think the one player that stood out to me was Flawless. I think Flawless consistently, especially on that trace, are just able to get so much value, so much consistent value, and just being able to kind of carry the Lumalees to wins there. I don't know if that's who you were going to say too, but I would definitely give it to Flawless.
Yeah, that was going to be my pick as well. I mean, just a huge bounce back match here for Flawless. You know, kind of struggled last season and a couple of previous seasons, but now comes out here with a huge performance, a dominant showing on Tracer, and helps his team to a early quote-unquote upset over number 1 seed in the power rankings. So we can go ahead and bring on Flawless for a quick interview, get their thoughts on the game. Let's see here, which...
Didn't sleep at all. Oh.
Hello, Flawless. Welcome on in. Congratulations on the victory. 3-0 sweep over the number 1 power ranked team in the preseason. Initial thoughts?
My initial thoughts are pretty actually good. I really like our team. We're really we're really well organized. Like, all of us really want to win, and we all communicate. Like, it's really cool. We have like a really good bond. I feel we're all like, how do I say this? It's clear that we all like understand each other, even though we've never like some of us have never played with each other. It's really weird.
Paninii?
So I was trying to look up the sheet right now. I know coming out of the draft, you guys were oh, here it is. You guys were like one of the cheaper duos. I'm assuming that was kind of surprising to you. Do you think that really gave your captain enough budget to kind of work around and draft the rest of the team around you?
Oh,
And
1000%.
do you have any idea why you guys were so cheap?
My assumption is that we were the last duo, right? So a lot of teams probably just didn't want to invest into a duo, and a lot of the bigger names were still up like as singular players. So we were like the quote unquote cheapest, like the fat what's the term called? We got fat guide or whatever.
Fat kid.
Oh yeah.
Fat kidded. We got fat kidded at the end, but I mean, honestly it was pretty good because nobody wanted to invest in another duo, and we got for really really cheap, which allowed us to have enough money to get like Carter, to get like Frosty, EJ, I think it was a great deal overall for our team, because I think out of the 3 seasons I've played, I haven't had like the best of system around me, so it's definitely really clean so far with this team.
So I know we've got the initial, kind of week 1 jitters out of the way. So I mean, going forward, is there any hot takes, up your sleeve? You saying undefeated season, undefeated run here, or we just, think we're a pretty solid team right now? Gonna put some work in the back behind the scenes and keep improving kind of mentality,
I mean, I think it's just keep improving, right? I don't like to put like my ego forward and say like, oh, we're the best team in the world. I think our team is really solid just because of like how we communicate with each other. We just seem like pretty like synergized, but like a lot of these teams are just going to get better as the season goes on. So we'll just have to see from here. And as long as we just keep up in scrims and keep up in our matches, we should be able to get the W. So.
And yeah, I mean, before El Clasico from Paninii, I just want to say I have seen Team Falcons. I've seen Falcons Esports lose a map. I haven't seen the Lumalees lose a map. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh.
So,
yeah,
the best team in the world. Accusations are still alive and thriving.
Of course.
I had another question before El Clasico too. I know it's kind of early. We haven't seen a lot of the teams play. Like going into the power rankings, are there any teams that you guys are kind of like looking out for? Not necessarily scared of, but are there any teams that you think are going to be kind of like a threat up towards the top of the standings here?
I mean, yeah. To be honest, like one of the ones that I look at a lot. I don't know about the others, but I look at the Shanghai Saoris. I actually, like personally, I'm a little bit scared of them because I know Logan, Poke are really good players, and they have a lot of good like pieces around them, and I think that they could be a really good team if they obviously are like really honed in. I think they could win a lot of games. So in my opinion, it's one of the scarier teams out there for sure. But yeah, as long as we just keep it going, I think we got this. Like, as long as we keep a good head.
Fair.
Yeah.
Then we'll go ahead and ask El Clasico before we send you on your way. If you cannot be MVP of this match, who would you give it to on your team and why?
Honestly, Frosty's crazy. Frosty was able to keep everyone alive, get all these Curie ults, like literally like was so good. But then it's hard because like I would even say like Carter was crazy, right? Like being able to play tank and then switching over to Echo and just fragging out. It's really hard to just like pick one person because I think our team just like synergized really well together. But if I had to give it to one person, I think Frosty definitely was like the backbone of our team. And one last thing before I do end up leaving. It was nice to beat the Gators, given, I love Gators. I literally had my Glasgow Gators Golden Gator right next to me, and it was very sad to see myself beat up the Gators.
Especially on, Flat F Friday.
I know, man, it's Flat F Friday. I'm so sad.
Actually, not alligators, they're alligatos, so it's not the same thing.
Oh yeah, true, it's not the same. It's Alligatos, nya, apparently.
So, one last congratulations. We'll send you on your way. Best luck the rest of the season, and hopefully you guys can keep on improving like you've been saying.
Of course. Thank you very much for having me.
That's going to do it for us here at the Aurora Overwatch Clash for our first match of Season 5 Paninii, and kind of an upset, theoretically, to start it off. So, potentially, we might not know where any of these teams lie in the power rankings right now. Be always interesting to see Week 1 how everything kind of plays out.
Yeah, very interesting. Like, it's always early in the season. You don't really have a good feel. As it goes on the next couple of weeks, I'm sure we'll get a better idea. But, yeah, Lumalees looking real scary right now. This is my big takeaway here.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that one. The Lumalees looking like the team to look out for so far. But if you got nothing else, for Paninii, I've been Booney. This has been the Overwatch Clash. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have a great evening, everybody.